Hello, YouTubers. I am going to share with you the new prophecy I got this week called the Trifecta of Time. I heard the Holy Spirit say that title and I was like, whoa, okay. And so I listened to hear the still small voice, and this is what I heard. I've told you before that I'm coming on the wings of the wind, and that the mountains will tremble and the earth will tremble at my coming down to cohabitate with my beloveds. There are and will be many signs and wonders throughout the earth. My kingdom wind is coming, and nothing, will ever be the same for all those who've said yes to me. Escalation is ramping up, and your hearts, I know, are troubled by the many different things happening in the earth, and all the ventures of man who in their ignorance think that they can be gods. Much disinformation has been spread to cause fear and anxiety. But I am your peace, and I will break down every wall of defense. That you may be able to have perfect shalom and be made whole. My love will overtake you and overwhelm you. Hey. My fire will burn away all that is not of me. Every chain will fall off, and you will never go back, because you said yes to surrendering to my will and my kingdom. So don't be disturbed even at yourselves for all you see wrong in your walk. I will change you. It is in my presence that you get transformed and transfigured. So enter into worship and rest in my presence. Ask for the blueprint for the days ahead for you and your family. And you will receive. Knock, and the doors will be open. For you are my bride, and there is nothing a loving husbandman will not do for his bride. Let go of all your anger at the process you've had to endure. Trust me in all that I've said, for I am your resource for every need that you have. I didn't say every want. That's important. I said every need. I shall supply all your needs through my riches and glory. My glory is coming down, but again I tell you, it is not to be played with or trifled with. I will release the brightness of my glory upon you, and you will shine like the stars in the heavens when I perform my amazing surprise. Remember how Moses's face shone so much when he came down from being with the Lord? Lightning and fire are merely signs of my intervention in the earth. I will bring my wrath upon the disobedient and the wicked. Nothing can prevent me from cleansing my threshing floors, for there will be no longer merchants in the house of the Lord. No more. There will no longer be merchants in the house of the Lord. Zechariah, that's from Zechariah 14:21. It says, yes, every pot in Jerusalem and Judah shall be holiness to the Lord of hosts. Everyone, who sacrifices shall come and take them and cook them. In that day there shall no longer be a Canaanite in the Lord of hosts. But I'm going to show you with these other two scriptures that word Canaanite has to do with buyers and sellers, okay? That word Canaanite is Old Testament 3669. Cana, or Cani, patrial form of 3667, a Canaanite, or inhabitant of Canaan, by implication a peddler. The Canaanites standing for their neighbors, the Ishmaelites, who conducted mercantile caravans. So a Canaanite is a merchant, a trafficker. Okay, at least 3 other versions indicate Canaanite as merchant or buyer and seller. And one of them is the complete Jewish Bible, which says, when that day comes, this will be written on the bells worn by the horses. Consecrated to Adonai, and the cooking pots in the house of Adonai will be as holy as the sprinkling bowls before the altar. Yes, every cooking pot in Jerusalem and Yehuda will be consecrated to Adonai Tsabayot. Everyone who offers sacrifices will come, take them, and use them to stew the meat. When that day comes, there will no longer be merchants in the house of Adonai Tsabayot. In the Zechariah, the Message version, I don't usually use Message version for everything, but because it's not an exact translation, but I love the way that this says it very plainly. On that day, the big day, all the horses' harness bells will be inscribed holy to God. The cooking pots in the temple of God will be as sacred as chalices and plates on the altar. That's us. In fact, all the pots and pans in all the kitchens of Jerusalem and Judah will be holy to God of the angel armies. It also refers to teachers, because the kitchen is the place where you feed people. And anyway, people who come to worship, preparing meals and sacrifices, will use them. On that big day, there will be no buying or selling in the temple of God of the angel armies, which is what Jehovah Sabaoth means. Okay, the Lord continued, you will be standing in one place, and the next day you will be totally changed. There will be changes in jurisdiction, and you will be moved in the spirit realm to new venues at times to preach and heal and deliver the captives. Astounding miracles will come forth, things you can't imagine, because my spirit will pour out on all flesh. The veil that has been blinding the lost all over the world will be rent. He talks about that in Isaiah 25. And there will be an awakening in so many hearts to the truth of who I am. Obedience and dependence on me is paramount. Thus I must perform my glorious act, that will render the enemy useless in your life. No weapon formed against you will be able to penetrate your new armor. However, the enemy will be stirred up to retaliate and try to stop what I'm doing in my own. But he has no power over you once I do this. Nothing will be able to harm you save I allow it. Your lives will never be the same. Your own families will not even recognize you as I transform you. They will be shocked into submission. I will make all wonder as I pour out my spirit on all flesh. Your sons and your daughters will come scurrying to the sound of my voice and marching to the beat of my heart. The prodigals will return because they too will be apprehended by my glory. They will have their own encounter with me and know truth as they've never known it. I will make you a feast of wine on the lees, and you will not have to worry, for every need will be met. I am not pouring out finances just so you can build $1,000,000 homes or store up for yourselves, he said. The awakening will be in the one another's as you pour out to others in the midst of the calamities and stuff that he's bringing. I will pour out to you. Many hearts will awaken and support my prophets and apostles and all who will go for us. Lean not on your own understanding, for it will be a time to be very dependent on me for what to do and where to go. It's already there, all right? We're already there where we need to be very dependent. At the same time, there will be turmoil and violence escalating due to the enemy's work. So parallel escalation, trying to distract and destroy what I will do. But you have the voice of the Lord in your hearts. You know my word, and you will soar on eagle's wings in this hour, for you were born for such a time as this. I knew you before your family knew you. I knew what gifts and talents you would grow into. I knew every step you would take. So stop striving and lean on me. Just spend time with me in the secret place. Get into my presence in worship, and I will transform you and restore all that has been stolen. Arise and shine, for the brightness of my glory will be seen upon you, and you will be known as the shining ones. Hey! And you will not be able to hide your talent under a basket anymore, because you will not be able to hide my glory. Be expectant, for I am the God who is at hand, and who knows you through and through. Come away with me so we can talk. I'm waiting between the workplace and the family obligations, between wake and sleeping, between tiredness and weariness and the demands of life. Cast all your cares upon me, for I care for you. My yoke is easy and my burden is light. Many of your children will see such glory, they will be prophesying to the family members who don't know me and those who have unbelieving parents. The parents will be startled by their dreams, and children prophesying without any prompting. Children will see angels, and talk with me, and you will see them suddenly be taken up in the spirit to heavenly places, so they can be filled with the fullness of me. Be not afraid of the wicked, for their threats are just a confirmation of their foolish hearts resisting me. Little children will lay their hands on the sick and infirm, and they will rise and be healed completely. I'm not the first to see this. Rick Joyner saw that years ago. Startling miracles will erupt even in the street as you witness, and people will be drawn to you. And the compassion with which I pour out on my people will be powerful confirmation of the presence of my Spirit in you. Many of you will stand before leaders of nations, governors, and city leaders, giving answer for things you believe. And many will change, but not all, of course, because the enemy has his employees bound to so many who will not change. But I will lead you in all you say and do, in all your activities and in all your rest. Nothing will ever be the same. And now I'm just going to share the two scriptures he had led me to before giving me this word. One was Hebrews 1. It says, God, who at sundry times in a diverse manner spake in time past unto the fathers by the prophets, has in these days spoken unto us by his Son, whom he has appointed heir of all things, by whom he made the worlds, who being the brightness of his glory and the express image of his person, and upholding all things by the word of his power, when he had by himself purged our sins, sat down at the right hand of the Majesty on high, being made so much better than the angels, as he has an inheritance obtained a more excellent name than they. That's why you can't believe in Mormonism, because they believe Satan and Jesus were brothers. Impossible. 5. For unto which of the angels said he at any time, Thou art my son, this day have I begotten thee? And again, I will be to him a father, and he shall be to me a son. And again, when he brings in the first begotten unto the world, he says, And let all the angels of God worship him. And of the angels he said, Who makes his angels spirits and his ministers a flame of fire? But unto the Son he says, Thy throne, O God, is forever and ever. A scepter of righteousness is the scepter of thy kingdom. Thou hast loved righteousness and hated iniquity. Therefore God, even thy God, has anointed thee with the oil of gladness above thy fellows. And thou, Lord, in the beginning hast laid the foundation of the earth, and the heavens are the works of thine hands. They shall perish, but thou remainest, and they all shall wax old as does a garment. And as a vesture shalt thou fold them up, and they shall be changed, but thou art the same, and thy years shall not fail. But to which of the angels said he at any time, Sit at my right hand until I make thy enemies thy footstool? Never. Jesus alone is Lord over all the angels. He's the Jehovah Sabaoth, the Lord of angel armies. Are they not all ministering spirits sent forth, in verse 14, to minister for them who shall be heirs of salvation? So the angels minister with and for us. They're not to be honored as if they're gods. Ezekiel 1. Now it came to pass in the 30th year, in the 4th month, and the 5th day of the month, as I was among the captives by the river Kebar, that the heavens were opened, and I saw visions of God. In the 5th day of the month, which was the 5th year of King Jehoiakim's captivity, the word of the Lord came expressly unto Ezekiel the priest, the son of Buzi, in the land of the Chaldeans by the river Kebar, and the hand of the Lord was there upon him. And I looked, and behold, a whirlwind, came out of the north, just as there's a whirlwind coming here, and a fire enfolding itself, and a brightness was about it, and out of the midst thereof, as the color of amber out of the midst of fire. Also out of the midst thereof came the likeness of 4 living creatures, and this was their appearance. They had the likeness of a man, and every one had 4 faces, and every one had 4 wings. These are unusual creatures. And their feet were straight feet, and the sole of their feet was like the sole of a calf's foot. And they sparkled like the color of burnished brass. Okay, so like very bright. And they had the hands of a man under their wings on their 4 sides. and they four had their faces and their wings. Their wings were joined one to another. They turned not when they went, and they went every one straight forward. As for the likeness of their faces, therefore had the face of a man, the face of a lion, the face of a on the right side, and they four had the face of an ox on the left side, and the four also had the face of an eagle. So the man, lion, ox, and eagle. Thus were their faces, and their wings were stretched upward. 2 wings of every one were joined one to another, and 2 covered their bodies. And they went every one straight forward. Whither the Spirit was to go, they went, and they turned not when they went. As for the likeness of the living creatures, their appearance was like burning coals of fire, and like the appearance of lamps. It went up and down among the living creatures. So you envision this, fire going up and down, the brightness of it. And the fire was bright, and out of the fire went forth lightning. Wow. And the living creatures ran and returned as the appearance of a flash of lightning. Okay? So now as I beheld the living creatures, behold, one wheel upon the earth by the living creatures with his 4 faces. The appearance of the wheels in their work was like unto the color of beryl, golden color. And they 4 had one likeness, and their appearance and their work was as it were a wheel in the middle of a wheel. When they went upon their 4 sides, and they turned not when they went. As for their rings, they were so high that they were dreadful, and their rings were full of eyes round about them 4. And when the living creatures went, the wheels went by them. And when the living creatures were lifted up from the earth, the wheels were lifted up. Whithersoever the Spirit went, thither was their spirit to go, and the wheels were lifted up over against them. For the spirit of the living creature was in the wheels. When those went, these went, and when those stood, these stood. And when those were lifted up from the earth, the wheels were lifted up over against them. For the spirit of the living creature was in the wheels. And the likeness of the firmament upon the heads of the living creature was the color of the terrible crystals stretched over their heads above. And under the firmament were their wings straight, the one towards the other. Everyone had 2, which covered on this side, and everyone had 2 which covered on that side, their bodies. And when they went, I heard the noise of their wings, like the noise of great waters. Wow. As the voice of the Almighty, the voice of speech, as the noise of a host. When they stood, they let down their wings. And there was a voice from the firmament that was over their heads, when they stood and had let down their wings. And above the firmament that was over their heads was the likeness of a throne, as the appearance of a sapphire stone. And upon the likeness of the throne was the likeness as the appearance of a man above it. And I saw as the color of amber, as the appearance of fire about within it, from the appearance of his loins even upward, and from the appearance of his loins even downward. I saw as it were the appearance of fire, and it had brightness around about, as the appearance of the bow that is in the cloud in the day of rain. So was the appearance of the brightness round about. This was the appearance of the likeness of the glory of the Lord. And when I saw it, I fell upon my face, and I heard a voice of one that spake. Now that's the usual reaction to anyone who sees Jesus in his pre-carnate state, or angels. Daniel fell on his face. Also, you can see in Daniel 10. So that's it. And now I just pray, Lord, that anyone watching this or listening to this, that you would release more revelation, that you would release revelation of your kingdom and revelation of the things to come. Prepare people who are reading this for the things that are coming, the good and the bad, that our hearts would be changed, Lord, and we would be unafraid. When we behold you as you are, then there won't be any more fear. So bless them, Lord, and bless their children and their grandchildren, whoever listens, and all their family, all their friends. Pour out your Spirit, Lord, on this generation, as you've promised. God bless you all.